Hi and welcome to Cars and Coffee Stories. We are in San Clemente, California. It's kind of cold today, rainy, not used to that, but we showed up and so did Mason. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Tell us about your car.
It is a 1984 Volvo 240 factory turbo. I picked it up in Carlsbad with a whole heap of work. I lucked it home, and since then I've just kind of found anything I could find at a junkyard and I bolted it onto it. I mean, it's something I borrowed from a friend, something I found attached to a car I thought was neat, and where can I drill a hole or zip tie it to make it fit, you know?
Where came the idea from?
I take a lot of inspiration from the BOSOZOKU style in Japan, although their cars are a little more extreme than mine is. But I thought the inspiration was cool, but I'm not a Japanese car guy, so I figured why not try and apply it here.
Okay. What do people say when they see the car, especially on the road?
I get a lot of strange looks. A lot of people, either it's a thumbs up or they kind of give me the scowl. I pulled over a lot. I know a lot like enthusiasts love it. Kids think it's like a Hot Wheel they have, and so they lose their mind when they see it, and it's just a real big attention getter. A lot of pictures, a lot of people tailgating me for pictures. It's a lot of fun.
What changes are you the most proud of?
I'm proud. The exhaust, obviously, just because it's kind of one of the bigger attention getter pieces, and just how I rewired the car. It caught fire at some point, so I had to rip everything out and start from scratch. So now everything's on a switch set. I don't use the key for anything anymore, and it's just a lot of fun to get in and just flip a couple of switches and go.
So what was your best experience or your worst experience?
Yeah, actually, one of the best experiences was one of the first times I got it, or one of the early months that I had it. I'd put a bunch of work into it, and I drove it up to Grange Raceway, and that whole trip was just an awful mess of an experience. But that was like one of the first real like eye openers of what I was dealing with, and how much work I had to do.
Is it a finished project, or are you just always adding or changing?
Always adding, always changing. I got a lot of ideas with it, a lot of things I want to change. Things with the fenders I want to change up, some of the front, the engine, of course. The wing I'm going to be changing out soon. So it's a constantly evolving project.
Tell us more about the changes. What is still original? I guess some parts of the body, right?
Yeah, for the most part, it's I think the passenger seat, a little bit of the interior, like the dash. Everything else has pretty much been cut into, modified, changed, removed, repainted, or paint removed. No, everything's been screwed with on this thing.
Was it from an idea from the beginning, like, okay, I'm gonna take this Volvo and I'm gonna change it to this? Why the Volvo?
My family's always had Volvos. It's just how it's always been, and I didn't really think much of it. And it took my dad owning a V70R for me to realize these cars were something cool. So from then on, I bought my first one. I started screwing with that. I realized I wanted some more cars, and I wasn't really planning on buying this thing, but I had a friend who wanted a car, and I said, "Hey, buy me that one, and I'll give you my station wagon instead." And I didn't know what I was going to do with it yet. I just knew it was cool. It was turbo, and let's go have some fun with the thing. And it's kind of, I don't know, as I wake up one morning with an idea, I'm like, okay, let's find out how to make this work.
What engine you got in there?
It's a 93 B230 FT, so just a factory 2.3 Volvo 4-cylinder. I blew up the old engine. I was running ethanol and a big air turbo, and I didn't have it tuned right because the old fuel injection system was terrible. So I ended up running it real hard one day, and everything dropped out real quick. And I was like, oh, well, I wonder what that was, and it shattered ring lands off the piston. So we put a later year in, and I just decided that I didn't want to use the key anymore. So with the whole switch set in here, everything has at least some purpose for the most part. And then you use just the main 4 and the arcade style arcade button. And yeah, it's a whole lot of fun. You don't need the key for anything. And someone's like, yeah, just take my car. And they're like, where's the key? I'm like, you don't need it. You don't need the key. So, and everyone gets confused and they see, like, I don't know how to start this thing. It's easy.
Is it fast?
No, not in the slightest. No, I'm using no, but not right now. It will be when the new engine goes in. I don't plan on keeping the turbo Volvo engine in it forever. Just whenever the other projects finish up. So it'll be fast then. I kind of plan to drift this thing eventually, if I can make it last that long.
Oh, you got you're okay, proper fan.
Yeah, proper fan of cars. I work at the dealer down in San Diego as well. When I went and I figured the turbo badge that matched the car, I figured I'd show a little appreciation for where it's brought me. I kind of started off with nowhere and just kind of some guy with a car, and I ended up on Facebook pages and reposted on Instagram, and I got to meet Tyler Fialco and a bunch of other like really neat stuff. So it's kind of just become an experience on its own.
Have you seen cars similar to yours?
Not really, at least not here. I do have a friend with another Volvo who has, every time I've taken a part off, he takes it from me and puts it on his. So he's starting to get into that look and style. Cool. But no, for the most part, you really don't see this in the States. I know of, I think 8 so far. It's just not common enough yet.
So what does the police say?
That the exhaust is illegal and the fenders are illegal, and I had one cop try and tell me that my wheels were touching my tires, which I didn't know what that meant. I get a lot of really dumb things they try. I literally just got a fix-it ticket 8 hours after getting one signed off. They gave me another one the same day. I'm like, oh, this is cool. I guess I'll get this one fixed now.
Mason, thank you so much.
Definitely, sir.
Das ist das erste Mal gewesen.
Ja, der kommt aus San Clemente.